Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to PHVote. Today we have Team PNoy senatorial candidate Bam Aquino. He is the former National Youth Commission chairman and a cousin of President Benigno Aquino. Aquino's had significant gains in senatorial preference surveys. He jumped from rank 15 in the January SWS survey to rank 9 to 10 in February. Good day, Bam. Thanks
Hello.
for joining us.
Thank you. And it's my first time here in Rappler HQ. Kaya excited ako.
Hopefully you fit in. No. Please, if you have questions, send it to use hashtag PHVote. Bam Aquino is also on Twitter at Bam Aquino. Let me just toss, why should people vote for you, Bam?
Well, first of all, I think kami namang kumakandidato, we're here to present ourselves and hope that the Filipino people will like what we have to offer. No? And when it comes to our candidacy, unang-una, we've spent a lot of years working in the National Youth Commission. So the youth, of course, is our main focus area. No? We've spent years working on issues and concerns there, mga iba't ibang mga polisiya, mga programa, and these are things we want to take to a higher level in the Senate. Secondly, is for the past 7 years, I've been working as a social entrepreneur. No? And I think this is not really talked about by mainstream media, but I think it's quite significant that you have actual experience working in poor communities, no? With cooperatives, microfinance organizations, NGOs, being able to work with our people and really help them improve their businesses, no? Na gumanda talaga yung mga buhay nila. And palagay ko yung experience na yun, importante yun. So, those two things, no? Those two big sectors, no? Our youth sector, which is now, I would think, the largest sector in the Philippines,
right,
and the sector of micro business owners, no, which, by the way, is 90% of all entrepreneurs in the Philippines are sari-sari stores, mangingisda,
right,
fishball vendors, livestock raisers. This is a sector that needs help. It needs support, and these are our countrymen who are doing their best to help their families, but largely do it on their own. No, walang suporta sa gobyerno masyado.
Yes.
And this is a sector that we want to help, and this is a sector that I think needs a lot of help. So, palagay ko yung dalawang malaking sektor na yon, the youth and the entrepreneurs, which also mirrors my own experience, my own work experience, no, having worked in those two large sectors, are sectors that we want to get a push or to get extra help.
Right.
And I was talking to my colleagues in PNoy and the other social enterprises that I'm part of. And at some point last year, napag-usapan namin na yung gusto nating gawin para makatulong sa mga communities, dapat mag-iiba talaga yung mga roles, no? Before, I used to be on the ground actually working with the nanays, but now you're looking at another role, which is to go into policy and to see if on the mainstream policy side, you can actually push for some of these reforms, while our colleagues will continue the work in the communities, no?
So you're saying that the work you've done on the ground will actually help you formulate better policies?
I think so, because you're grounded eh. Alam mo talaga yung pangailangan, no? In fact, one of our platform, which is to push for support for micro and small enterprises, basically tatlo yan.
Right.
Financing, which of course is the microfinance sector, NGOs, cooperatives, no? Access to training, which is to help our entrepreneur, the micro entrepreneurs with their businesses, put in technology, bring in better know-how.
Right.
And third, of course, is access to market, which is to allow them, yung mga produkto at serbisyo nila, to allow them to actually get to the market. So those three, hindi yan galing sa, for example, like a UN treatise on micro-enterprises. This came from the ground, and this is what we saw. Yung pangailangan talaga ng mga kababayan natin who are running their micro-businesses.
But politics is a whole different, other arena. And let me just ask you, your experience in politics was under the Arroyo administration.
Yes.
You've been getting some flack recently
A
about...
lot of flack, actually.
That you should have, this is what some of the articles have said, that you should have left the Arroyo administration based on principle, that you worked for them, that it goes against. Tell me how you react. What do you mean by a lot of flack? What are you getting, and how do you respond?
A lot of the black propaganda actually centered around that right now, no? But kung tutuusin, none of those really give a clear timeline, no? I was appointed in 2001 as commissioner.
Yes.
By 2003, I was chairman. By July or August, I think, was Hayat 10 of 2005.
Yes.
And shortly after, I finished my term and I was not there anymore. And this is something that those articles never fail to mention, no? Kumbaga, they always fail to mention, no? They make it seem like I was there till June 2010, no? I finished my term and I left government in February of 2006. And what did I do after? No? Afterwards, we set up PNoy, which is of course connected to the microfinance industry, which is actually Tita Cory's final advocacy before she passed away. We set up the Reform Coalition, register and vote with people like Jesse Robredo, Risa Ontiveros, Kiko Pangilinan. Again, the articles never talk about those things, no? So, para sa akin, I guess it's just really par for the course, no? Pag medyo umaakit yung numbers mo, people will start putting these things out there.
Right.
And like the best black prop in the world, it's always a half-truth or partly true. And it is true, no? I was chairman of the NYC, and that's not a secret, no?
Right.
In fact, we proudly say that we were chairman of the
Yes.
NYC. And I think I was able to serve naman our youth well. So I'm proud of that time, no? That we served the country well and we served the youth well. But afterwards, it's very clear that by February of 2006, we were already into social enterprise and doing other things. No?
I see. So when you say black propaganda, are you saying this is orchestrated?
Definitely. Kasi pare-pareho yung mga linya eh, no? So I really think it's black propaganda. It is orchestrated, and it did come out when my numbers started picking up, no? Kumbaga parang nung nasa number 17 at 20 tayo, wala naman silang sinasabi. And of course, once your numbers start going up, people start putting these things out there, no? But at the end of the day, I think na all of these things that they're saying, isa lang naman talaga yung kailangan isipin ng mga tao. Kung totoo nga yun, pipiliin ba tayo ni Pinoy, who is the number one enemy now of President Arroyo?
Right.
Kung tutuusin, would the LP, would Pinoy actually choose me in the slate? Would people like Risa Ontiveros, June Magsaysay, who are now running with me, stand side by side with me in this slate? Of course not, di ba? So, para sa akin, madali namang sagutin. Bilang isang tao lang, sometimes nakakainis lang na talagang kung ano-ano yung mga binabato sa'yo, no?
What are you learning about politics now during the campaign period?
Well, alam mo, there's a lot of expectation from people. Our people really are expecting a lot from their leaders, rightfully so.
Yes.
And I think Pinoy, being the president now, has also raised the bar, no? They want people who are clean, they want people who are honest, but I think now they also want people who are effective,
Yes.
who can actually do something on the ground, no?
Yes.
And pagkausap mo na yung mga botante at sinasabi nila, sir, itong maliit kong negosyo, ilang taon na to dito, hindi pa rin kami lumalaki, meron ka bang magagawa dyan? That's not something to be taken lightly, no? Seryosong usapan yan. And talagang, kung ikaw tumatakbo ka and you're offering solutions, mapapaisip ka talaga, no? These solutions really need to work for our countrymen because they really need a lot of help, no?
Yes.
On the other hand, nakita ko rin na ang mga Pilipino, even without the support of government, kinakaya nila eh. They're able to do well. Now, when we started
Right.
Happy Noy and Rags to Riches, wala namang tulong yun mula sa gobyerno.
Correct.
Now, can you imagine if government was indeed a partner of many of these micro-enterprises, if government really supported our young people, how much further could they go? And that's what I'm trying to look at. No? Yun yung hope na if government really gets its act, really supports the people with good policies, good programs, can you imagine how far our countrymen can go, considering now that they do it largely on their own? Diba? So, yun yung nakikita ko on the ground. And hindi ka naman people have been asking kung nakakapagod ba yung kampanya. No? And I have to admit, physically nakakapagod siya. But everywhere we go, we meet youth volunteers, NGOs, local government leaders, no? I'm sure baka some people might be skeptical, but indeed, no, local government leaders who are doing their best to really, kumbaga, just do their best with what they have and really support our people to move forward. No? Nakikita ko yun eh. And everywhere we go, ako honestly, I'm inspired to just keep on going. Because these are good people, mabubuti mga Pilipino who are trying their best. And ikaw, you also want to pay back their effort with also more effort and an extra push, no, in this election time. No?
One of the greatest criticism against our Philippine democracy is really the weaknesses of our institutions.
Yep.
And one of the things that's come out for sure right now is the weaknesses of the political parties, which you're seeing in the campaigns, right? How are you dealing with this?
Well, honestly, no, you haven't really raised it. I'm gonna raise it na. No? The question on dynasty, no. People have asked, ano ba yung long-term solution sa dynasty? Ang tingin ko, it's actually strong political parties that can actually, kumbaga, the dynasties won't be as important anymore. No, you have a country like the U.S.
Correct.
For the Democrats, they have the Kennedys. No,
Yes.
for the Republicans, they have the
Bush.
Bushes.
Yes.
And yet, it doesn't seem to be that much of an issue because
Yes.
clearly defined. Kung ako Democrat, ano yung ibig kong sabihin? Kung ako Republican, ano yung
Yes.
ibig kong sabihin? On each particular issue, very, very clearly defined. We don't have that now.
Yes.
So what we have are basically parties built on personalities, no, and family names. But I really feel that if parties can mature and become stronger down the line, yung usapin ng last name won't be as important, no? It will already be an usapin yan ng ano ba yung stand ng partidong ito sa gantong issue o sa ganyang issue. Medyo malayo pa tayo doon, no? But I think little by little we can get there, no? For example, sa Liberal Party, there's a move to include individuals who aren't just politicians. And I think that's a welcome move, no? To really push for more membership who aren't all mayors, governors, congressmen, and senators, no? We have if there can be journalists, businessmen, doctors, lawyers, I think in that way, no, mas magmamature yung partido. And I'm hoping that before I'm dead, I'll be able to see really mature parties in the Philippines now.
Maybe before you're dead, but it may not make it to mine.